Ever thought why Africa doesn't have its own internet? That's because if it did, the Western world would lose its golden window into African lives. It will lose the ability to spy on every message, shape minds with hidden algorithms, and quietly dictate what people see, think, and even do. For decades, Silicon Valley and Washington controlled Africa's digital lifeline, turning data into power and power into influence. But that era just ended. Just recently, Africa flipped the switch. Afronet, its very own sovereign internet, went live. No Western surveillance gateways, no Silicon Valley chokehold, no Elon Musk satellite dominance. A continent once digitally colonized has now declared independence online. The world didn't see it coming, and the West is panicking. So, what really happened, and how does it change everything? In this video, let's find out. While the rest of the world focused on AI regulations and the next iPhone update, the African Union was quietly working on something far more consequential: a digital reality built entirely on its own terms. For years, Africa's internet infrastructure had been routed through Europe, dependent on American data centers, and dominated by foreign tech firms. That arrangement ended the moment Afronet went live. Launched discreetly at a secure AU summit in Addis Ababa, this wasn't just an internet service provider. It was an entirely new digital ecosystem designed to serve African interests first. At its core was a sovereign DNS system paired with a custom-built search engine, Ubuntu Web, and decentralized cloud infrastructure stretching across Nigeria, Kenya, and Egypt. To guarantee independence, the continent deployed its own satellites, supported by Algeria and South Africa, while military-grade encryption developed by the One Africa Army's cyber warfare unit, known as the Zulu Division, safeguarded every digital door and window. For the first time in history, Africa owns the cables, the code, and the cloud that keeps its people online. The question, naturally, is why Africa would take such a dramatic step and disconnect itself from what many see as the backbone of modern connectivity. The answer is in numbers and in mistrust. Every year, African nations were paying out roughly $4.2 billion in hosting and cloud services to companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, essentially paying to access their own data. That money didn't just buy storage or access, it came with a hidden cost, like surveillance, manipulation, and exploitation. Encrypted chats, supposedly private, were often mirrored and analyzed by foreign intelligence contractors. Search engines and algorithms dictated what Africans saw, what stories trended, and what opinions were amplified. For African governments and cybersecurity agencies, it was like paying for the privilege of being watched. In this context, Afronet is more than an alternative system. It's a digital declaration of independence, a continent saying, "You will not use our data to sell us back our own future." The push for independence was tested when Elon Musk entered the picture. Musk, through Starlink, saw an opportunity to position his satellite network as the backbone for Africa's internet. His pitch to AU officials emphasized speed, affordability, and global coverage. But leaked documents revealed that Starlink's back-end routing could be overridden by US intelligence, effectively giving Washington a quiet, invisible hand in African bandwidth control. That revelation triggered a swift and unanimous response: the adoption of the 1% rule, which bans any foreign digital entity from controlling more than 1% of Africa's data infrastructure. The result was immediate. Starlink was blocked, and so were other cloud services tied to foreign intelligence operations. AU Digital Chair summed it up bluntly: respect for Musk aside, sovereignty cannot be built on satellites that Africa does not own. In that moment, Africa drew a hard line between partnership and dependency. The response from the West was both swift and revealing. Within 12 hours of Afronet's activation, the US State Department, European Commission, and France's digital minister all issued critical statements warning that Africa was isolating itself and undermining open digital cooperation. The subtext was obvious. Without access, Western powers could no longer easily monitor African data flows, influence information ecosystems, or quietly exploit the continent's digital economy. Big tech companies immediately convened emergency meetings, with some preparing lawsuits and others threatening to withdraw support or restrict access to African domains. Yet this time, Africa held the upper hand. Its infrastructure was already operational. Solar-powered server farms in Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Morocco, encrypted mesh networks in Cameroon and Burkina Faso, and military-grade firewalls resilient enough to detect and neutralize foreign intrusion attempts were already set. Western powers could complain, but they could not unplug what they no longer controlled. The backbone of this shift lies in one of the boldest legal frameworks ever crafted in the digital age, the Digital Freedom Clause. This clause guarantees that all African user data remains within the continent, forbids any government surveillance without approval from Afrocourt, a newly established digital rights tribunal, and requires every app on Afronet to host its servers on African soil. Most revolutionary of all, it promises equal digital access for all citizens, ensuring connectivity is no longer a privilege of the wealthy or urban elite. Already, homegrown platforms like Ubuntu Chat and Zakoragram have taken the place of WhatsApp and Instagram, ensuring communication and social media data never leave African jurisdiction. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. What truly sets Afronet apart is that it was not built solely by civilian programmers or private tech firms. It was engineered under the watchful eye of Africa's own military. The One Africa Army's Shadow Tech Unit, known as the Zulu Division, designed a cybersecurity lattice that operates more like a digital fortress than a simple firewall. This system actively monitors traffic, blocks unauthorized foreign pings, flags malicious packets before they can propagate, and, if necessary, can isolate entire regions to contain a cyber attack. Emergency kill switches exist for rapid shutdown in compromised zones, while real-time counter-hack algorithms can trace and neutralize threats on the fly. It is a defense infrastructure modeled more on battlefield doctrine than commercial IT practice, meaning this is not about simple data protection. It is about sovereignty enforced at the highest possible level. The general in command said, "We are no longer the watched. We are now the watchers." That statement captures a seismic shift in power. For decades, Africa was digitally exposed. Now, it is proactively in control. This defensive backbone has also unleashed an unexpected cultural and economic phenomenon: the return of African tech talent and the birth of a youth-led digital boom. Freed from the dominance of foreign platforms and empowered by AU innovation grants, thousands of young African developers and content creators are launching homegrown platforms. AfroLearn, a decentralized online education system designed to support dozens of local languages, is already transforming how students in rural and urban areas access knowledge. AfroTube, positioned as an African rival to YouTube, is surging in popularity, reaching millions of views within weeks of launch. AfroGold, a blockchain-based banking network that bypasses Western intermediaries, is enabling secure, independent financial transactions within the continent. For decades, Africa exported talent only to see its innovations monetized elsewhere. Now the focus is to keep the money, the talent, and the code right where it belongs. The result is a new energy, what some are calling the Silicon Savannah, built on the principle of digital self-determination. However, independence always draws resistance, and Afronet's success is no exception. Almost immediately after its launch, AU Cyber Command began detecting sophisticated hacking attempts originating from foreign intelligence IPs. These weren't random criminals. These were coordinated, state-level actors probing for weaknesses. Clone apps designed to mimic official Afronet platforms began spreading through underground networks, aimed at corrupting its systems and undermining public trust. At the same time, Western media outlets like BBC and CNN began framing Afronet as isolationist, dangerous, and authoritarian, attempting to shift global perception against the project. Yet the irony is glaring. Were Facebook and Google free when they manipulated African elections or buried African voices under Western-sponsored content? The attacks reveal what is truly at stake, that Afronet is not isolationism, it is self-respect, and that self-respect threatens established digital hierarchies. While foreign narratives try to sow doubt, the mood on the ground across Africa tells a very different story. In cities from Lagos to Nairobi, Kigali to Harare, Afronet's launch has been embraced as a moment of national and continental pride. Parties are being streamed exclusively on AfroTube, DJs are creating entire Afronet-only music sets, and artists are painting murals with slogans like "We Online Now" in Swahili, Hausa, Amharic, and Zulu. Even older generations, often skeptical of digital shifts, are joining in, asking humorously, "So Facebook is no longer the boss?" This is not just a technological rollout, it is a cultural event, one that symbolizes freedom from digital dependency and signals a collective psychological shift. For the first time, people are celebrating a system itself, not a personality or a product, a system that places Africa first. This is why Afronet cannot be reduced to the language of tech upgrades. It is not merely about faster speeds or improved user interfaces. It is, at its core, Africa claiming digital territory in a way it never has before. Afronet is not just a website or even a network. It is a declaration, a statement to the world that Africa will no longer be a digital colony. As the AU leadership has made clear, Africa has not gone offline. It has gone off-grid, on its own terms. The message is simple, yet profound. If you want to engage with Africa's digital space, you must now do so by its rules, not by Silicon Valley's or Brussels' terms. That shift, more than the technology itself, is what makes Afronet historic, a true digital nation born in silence, but built to echo loudly for generations to come. What do you think? What happens when a continent once digitally colonized takes full control of its own data and infrastructure? Is Afronet a bold step toward true sovereignty, or the beginning of a global digital Cold War? In the comment section below, share your thoughts on why Western media are quick to label Afronet isolationist when their own platforms manipulate African elections and narratives. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.